I wanted to go to, just to extrapolate out the myrtle tree a little bit, I wanted to go to 1917, same spelling. So we can just pull apart the pieces a little bit so people can see. Hadam, a member, a limb, it's Aramaic. It's from 1916, so it's what we just did, the footstool in the earth, but it's done through the revelation of the Dom.
Of the blood.
Of the blood. And it's corresponding to something stamped into pieces. So we know, just to, because I don't want to miss any opportunity to express to people how important it is to know that there's an outward manifestation of pieces and there's an inward revelation of pieces. As soon as we get this as a collective, we become a throng of people and we become God in earth.
Yep.
A collective that are thinking similarly in the frequency of love, light, and truth, coming together in the form and fashion of one, knit together in the intention of why we came to the experience. This is what we're all hungering for right now, and all our amazing comrades and friends out there that are calling and sharing all the innocence and the purity. Hold tight, it's about to be revealed. There is hope for us, and it will be a people that will be gathered, and we will be able to rejoice because you prevailed in the experience. So I can feel the frequency just even saying that it's coming, it's coming, it's coming. Be patient, be kind to yourself, be kind to another, love well, shalom, shalom, have peace with yourself, because something is about to be revealed.
And to add on to what you just said, because I totally agree with it, that Hadam, Hadam, the blood has to do with the covenant, the blood covenant. And the blood covenant is also known the covenant of promise.
Yes.
And the blood covenant is how children are supposed to be brought forth into this world through the piercing of the hymen, which would be through the blood.
Yeah.
Covenants of promise that would be passed on to generation and generation.
Yeah.
And it first starts with obedience, right? Because that's what the blood covenant is about, obedience. But what is it? Obedience is the word Shema.
Yeah.
To hear. Shem Ein.
Yeah.
To be of the name. To go through the fire and the water so that you can see. So when you see, when it says eyes to see, we just went over the whole ayin, right? And ears to hear.
Yeah. And we're going to
so that
go
people
there.
know that's Shema.
And this is where we're going right now. I need to connect this, that this is the eye and the ear is connected. So
but it connects to the blood covenant,
yes.
The covenant of promise.
That's why I didn't want to miss this. This is between the pieces of Abraham. He had to walk between the pieces of separation. And yeah, it was a mucky job. And we're wrestling in the blood right now. But let's take it one step further. Can we go to 1919?
Yep.
Hadassah.
Yep. And so she had the revelation.
One occurrence. She had mother on the prefix and father on the suffix, and she was the Dalet Samek in between.
So that's a double Samek.
That's a double Samek.
So what it's saying is she had the wedding ring of mother and father. She had her right hand and her left hand with the rings around the fingers that says, I am a covenant one.
She has the full authority and power on one hand, or authority on one hand, power on the other hand.
And how did she do it? She went through the door of her inner man, her inward self. She delivered herself.
She built the thicket. This is all still based on the thicket, and that's why the Spirit had me come in and revisit this again and say, you need to go excavate this. And I'm like, oh my goodness. And so
look at Aman. Aman Aleph Tav.
You're looking at the one occurrence?
Yeah.
Esther 2:7.
Aman.
Mm-hmm. That
is the root for the word emet, truth.
And
this means to build up, foster, support, faithful.
Yeah.
Like this Aman is such a huge word. Oh. This is the root word for faith.
We're going there. We're going there right now. So so set it up, but that's exactly where we're going, because we're going to bring up the I want you to bring up the ayin. So I need to bring something forward as soon as we finish this. This is going to be a long teaching.
And how do we build it? Through the Aleph Tav, the first and the last, the beginning and the end. Through the language of light and love, the strong love.
This is what needs to be shared right now. In the strong language, you resonate to the frequency of love.
I'm a little undone right now.
And so the last word, and it shall be Haya. Now look at that. Bring that up, please. 1961. Remember how when we talked about, just bring up and tell me when you got it up. Okay, you got it up? Remember how the experience is about falling into love. Look at the first word, the first definition, to fall out.
Yeah.
We fell into love.
And it's Genesis 1:2.
Genesis 1:2.
Tohu bohu.
You've now become the deep, and you fall out now of love because you become the completed measure, falling in and falling out. So be gentle and kind to yourself. Now you become the full experience of love as love is love.
So you're no longer loveless. You're loveful.
You're loveful. You are now why you came in. You already were. Now you know the expression of all quadrants, all fractals of love. You are one cup that is completely, and in your overflowing of love now, you're able to express your journey to assist another one. You now have the ayin, the knowing of what love is.
And really what that is the knowing of self.
Yes.
You fall into love with yourself. You find self. You find yourself through this process. This is how you're able to love yourself unconditionally, because you finally see yourself as revealed, as who you were before you came. That's the whole thing. This is connecting to our higher self.
Absolutely.
Our higher self was that position of Elohim, stripped of that into formless and void in order to be found again, connected to your higher self as I am.
Yeah.
My gosh.
Can you go to, just break down Haya for the people, just go to 1933 Hava, so they can, let's just render it, let's get right down to the rendering, so we squeeze everything out of it we can for people. So now you're filled up, and now you're falling out of the experience because you're going to sisso. So now you're breathing. Now you know what it is to be, you're in the sense of existence. Now you know. Tell me when you're there.
Well, and that's the exhale and the inhale.
It absolutely is.
Hey. So when we tell people about the inhale and the exhale, it's because of this word.
Right.
The exhale is the hey, breathing out, connected to the aleph, which is the breathing in. And this is why Genesis 1:1 is started with a bet and not with an aleph.
Right, exactly.
Because you have to inhale.
Right.
Better sheet.
Right. It's the inward journey that produces the inward reality, so you can manifest it as an outside construct. Everything we touch is in the residue of this frequency, and that's what we're releasing is the code of essence that everyone would resonate to this code to then build this reality. And so now we have this word, and it's interesting, the third occurrence of 6 occurrences is 222, just to tether it again.
Going back down to this, though, the root of it is to incline and desire.
Oh, you already took it to 183?
Yeah, I'm just showing it because it's the same. It's aleph, vav, hey.
And this is, we've already talked about to wish for. So these are the wish for. This is for that the earth moans and groans for the daughters and the son.
The manifestations of the son and
this is the wish, as they would come forward.
Yeah.
And then let's look at the very last word of this verse.
Well, and you wanted to say something about the 6 occurrences of this.
Well, I just wanted to show you that it's the third occurrence is 222.
Yeah.
Because it's all about the journey of love.
That's right.
And this is still right.
And look at that. Le Adam.
Right. So
right? So Adam, it's man, but it's the light bearers that are of one. They instruct the way of one blood.
Right.
We were just talking.
And if you look
that.
even after that with the conjuncture on that, that's a completed. That's a bet completed. That's a built one now, because you can see that here.
That are whole.
That are whole. Right. So just wanted to show that. Don't want to miss that. And then you can. Let's go back out to the verse again real quick. I know this is really heavy to choose some of this stuff, but this is really important. I want to finish this. Now we have to Yahweh. So now these are the completed. These are the breath, and it shall be. And now we have a lamed.
Gosh, I know. So this is Luya.
This is Luya.
These are the teachers of light that teach the way of Mother Yod He that is connected to Vav He, the Father. That is the completion of the training to become that of the light.
Can you take it to
my goodness.
Can you take it to 3069 just so people can see the word?
I'm a little undone.
Because this is now 3060. These are now the teachers, and they are called in the essence of Yod He Vav He, completely filled up. These are now through the power works in direction, through the hand, they have become mother's revelation. They are the living, breathing ones in the earth that have built the basket, the thicket, pierced through to produce an offering of love, to become fully expressive in the experience, to become the essence of love in the revelation that is that to be revealed in the end time. And this is who they are. They are now the teachers of love, light, and truth. And
look at Leviticus 1:11. Lipane, Yod He Vav He.
And so this word of
the teachers of light that will appear in a face you, presenting the power of the one love through the twin process of Yod He Vav He.
So in that 3069, we can see that there is a variation of Yehovah, and that's 3068.
Right.
It's used as Adonai, 136. Right. Elohim, 430.
Yep.
Yehovah, and okay, so it's there.
Yep.
So those are all synonymous with calibration of frequency that establishes the frequency.
Right.
This one now resonates to that frequency.
Yeah.
So now let's go to the last word. So now that this is the name. Now we have Shem with a lamed added.
That's right. So those who are of the name that have gone through the fire and the water to become those that are of conspicuous. I guess I should pull it up because I'm a little undone now. I'm just going into Shem, so just people know what that means.
Are you going into Sum 7760?
Hold on. So when they hear the word HaShem, it's of the name. They say it instead of the word of God, but it means a conspicuous position, a mark or memorial of individuality,
implication of honor,
authority, and character
there you go.
Of the living fire and the living waters from Sum.
So the name isn't a name. It's a resonating
vibration frequency.
So when we try to, you cannot pronounce the name. Why? Because you're not resonating to the name. Yeshua knew it, but he was resonating to the name. We can't utter it because we can only utter it when we are totally calibrated through the journey of experience of love's peaceful waters to become that exact measure.
Well, and I think it's the ineffable name because it's a frequency that is known telepathically.
Right.
It doesn't need to be uttered.
Right.
Because when you come it, you have the frequency resonation of it, and it's meant to be concealed because it's the process of becoming until you're revealed.
Can you go?
Does that make sense?
Yes, absolutely.
Like they concealed it because it has to be revealed by the process of becoming Hayah.
I want to take you just on a little journey here.
So I'm in Sum to set
7760. Where are you?
Yep.
Okay. So I want you to go to. Let's go to the name. Let's go to 8036.
Hold on just a second. I want to show people since we're there what it means to put.
Yes, to place, to put.
To put in place.
And so now, what is put in place?
And it's literal, figurative, inferentially, and elliptically. There's lots of ways that this is used.
So the Vav is placed. It's still Shem, but
right.
In the center, the Vav is now placed, which is meekness and authority. And so now you're connected.
In your heart. Your heart's been pierced.
Fire and water is now connected.
Yep. Within you.
Within you. Because the Sheen is fire.
So this is telling you have a heart change.
Yes, the Sheen is fire and the Mem is water.
Yep.
And now you're pierced through as fire and water.
Look at that. He placed the man in Eden.
He placed the man in Eden. Yep. You're back in the garden.
Shem. It's actually Shem. Right?
Well, which one are you in?
Genesis 2:8.
Okay.
I'm just looking at it. It's the Vav, Yod, Shem.
Yeah.
And then Shem again.
Yeah.
Aleph, Tav.
Can you go down to Ezra 5:1? So it's the same thing. Now this is the name.
Yeah.
The first occurrence?
Yeah.
Ezra 5:1. And Jerusalem in the name of God.
And it's a bet in front of Jerusalem.
Right.
Yarushalam.
Yarushalam. Ubet Yarushalam.
The Bet Tav, the 222.
The 222.
And then we have Bashem.
Right. The name.
The Bet Tav.
The built name.
The 222 of the fire.
This should rattle. This rattles me. I'm a little unnerved.
And then what is it? Aleph Lamed Hey.
Right.
The strong authority teaching shepherds that are revealed.
Now
that are of the name.
So that's
as God.
Right. So now that's 8036. Can you go to 8037 for me, please?
Well, it's interesting. It's an Asherite.
Shema,
Yeah, so it sounds like Shema.
right?
It's an Aleph instead of an Ayin.
Right.
So it's from, do you want me to go to Shemem?
Go to 8074.
To be desolated or appalled?
Yeah, but that's not what it says.
No, I know, it never does.
You're astonished. You're an
To
astonishment.
stun.
You're stunned. You're in amazement. You've destroyed self. Your reason it says desolate, because you've desolated self. You've totally abased self, and you stand as a wonder and a sign.
And how did you do it? So the mem, those two mems right there, that is literally the root.
Okay.
Or that is how the symbol mem is spelt. And it never ever, and it means water.
So,
but it never shows this way. Like water by itself never is written as mem. Why? Because water always attracts itself to its water, making itself plural.
right.
Mem, yod mem.
So the reason that this ended up, and the Asherite is part of the Asherim, it's love, right? So now you've desolated yourself, you've totally decimated yourself in love. Love has pulverized you to become really the outer coating of your temple. So think of it as whatever gold or limestone, whatever it may be, you've pulverized yourself into applying the thin coating on the temple surface, and that is now your residue. Why desolated? 8074. This verse that we started from the above verse in Isaiah 7:19, go back up, pull it up again, because this is what the Spirit had me pull down to realize.
I'm there.
And then go into the one occurrence or the occurrence of 1327.
Bata.
Habata. You should be into the verse, and it should be Hey Bet Tav Vav Tav.
Yes.
And it means to be desolate. So there's the twin, mother and father. The revelation is built you. The Bet Tav, the 222 is right there. You are now spiritually completely filled up in the measure of the Father. Right in that word. That is the definition of to be desolate.
Of course, because you've totally gotten rid of self.
Does it show that it is desolate in your definition?
It did. I saw that. And this is where we were sharing with people to connect the other day that this is how you spell Thoth.
Right.
The God of wisdom.
Right.
Who is desolated and totally destroyed and gotten rid of self.
So now,
as love unconditional.
Do you have a way to get back into that verse? We just extrapolated out, but do you have a way to get back into the verse we just did that we're talking about the name of God? I know I got you jumping everywhere, but people need to see. So I thought we were done. We have one more word.
Yep.
Because now you became the name of God.
Yep.
And now you're for a sign.
I know. There's that Aleph Vav Tav again.
But look at how it's now you're a Lamed Aleph Vav Tav. So we have Lamed Yod He Vav He, Lamed Shem, and now Lamed Ot. And so now let's go into this word so people can see what this is. Now you are a sign. You've made it as a sign and a wonder. So in the sense of appearing, a signal,
yep,
literally or figuratively, a flag, a beacon, a monument, an omen, prodigy, evidence, a mark, and a miracle. Wow, that's not too much. First occurrence, Genesis 1:14. From the night, and let them be for signs and for seasons.
Okay, so remember we were talking about kokab?
Can you look at the spelling of that one real quick?
Star seeds.
Yes.
We are star seeds that have been planted here.
We're star seeds. Now look at how it's spelled. Lamed Aleph Tav.
Yeah. The twin covenants.
You are now completely as light as Aleph Tav.
And then Moed is seasons, which is the same word that we use for feasts, like the festivals that come yearly.
And can you go into, we have actually one more word in this.
Well, it's interesting. Lila is right here, where it says the night. And when you look at it, it's Lamed, Yod Lamed.
Right.
So in the night, the revelation of light of mother and father will be given to you.
Is the revelation.
Which will provide you the power, means, and direction within to be revealed as Le Otot.
I don't know if people really realize how huge this really is.
Well, if they can connect to this,
I
if
s-
they really connect this and this is an epiphany to them,
Yeah.
you will be forever changed. You
Yeah.
can't go back. It's
No.
like once you see this, you can't unsee this.
So let's go into
And oh my God, an everlasting olam.
yes, and everlasting. So you're into everlasting. So now you're the duration, eternity, the vanishing point. Now you're 0 point.
I guess I better pull that up so people can see that.
It's in 5769 chorus, the 769. Ayin Vav Lamed Mem.
Properly concealed the vanishing point.
You are now veiled from sight. And then it actually.
So this is where you go behind the veil.
Yeah, and then it says not El Lamed Lo shall be cut off. So you're, and that word is to
Olam,
cut.
to conceal.
Right. So you are cut down. You've been harvested, because that word right there is a word for felling.
But it also means to cut a covenant.
Right, to cutting the flesh as passing between. You fully pass between the pieces, connecting it, weaving correctly the thicket of the basket, or the thicket of the offering. You fully consumed it, and now you are this. This is the pasture.
And you are one who gives the vision now.
Yeah.
And the word lo in front of it, it just means that you instruct the way of one.
Yeah.
So that you are not cut off, because you will grasp a hold of the power given to you. Right?
Yep.
Being filled with the language, kaf pei, that raises you from being poor and destitute to a first fruit leader, where you are now marked with the sign, frequency, covenant of unconditional love.
Yeah. Very, very.
And then it ends with the wedding ring.
Now you end with the wedding ring. Absolutely. With the Samek, you are now sealed closed, and that's just a Selah moment of you've reached it. And something's coming right now that, for this to wake me up by the Spirit and to go into it after it was already dug out in measures, I felt such a level of not anxiety as a negative. I felt immense pressure this morning.
Like an urgency.
You probably feel it in my teachings. The teaching prior to this one, I was a little agitated in not a bad way, because the weight hit me. I got up to just get a drink of water, and it hit me like, oh my goodness, this is coming very quick. And it's almost like the Spirit saying, release it. The frequency needs to be released, because it establishes it as legal tender. It is now law that has been extracted. It doesn't really matter how many eyes are upon it. It simply is now uploaded into the AI as a cure to the virus. It's now uploaded as frequency that has been rendered clear, and it is now, the door has been made accessible to all.
Yeah.
If one finds it, another man may enter.
That's right, because it's a new neural pathway in the collective consciousness of who we are.
And that's all it takes, is for one to find it,
open the door,
two agree upon it, as we do. We mutually agree upon this,
and we establish
we establish a matter, and we say, may it be established that the frequency of this resonates to the frequency of life, light, and truth.
The gatekeepers of the mind.
Right? And now we release that for the collective to come as the throng of people that would gather in the essence of love, light, and truth, and that we would be a representation of God on earth.
As a sign, signal, and beacon at their appearing. That's what it means, at their appearing.